In this lesson, we are going to wrap up the character design turnaround by coloring the front view of the character. So let's get started. So I made a little mistake in drawing the heart of the character in the other views. I discovered that since this side of the heart is located at the right side of this character's head, so these guys are not supposed to be here, but instead around somewhere here, right? So I'm going to place this guy here, then I'm going to erase the ones that I'm supposed to erase. Okay, so I'm bringing this up. I think I should even erase everything because it's not going to show in the profile view like so. So I will come back to this front view and redraw this guy to fit the way it's supposed to fit. Okay, let's continue. All right, so maybe something like this. Okay, something like this, so that this part of the heart will be somewhere here, right? Okay, so we can do the same thing for this guy, but we can leave it for now since we know that we can just draw this part, that's all, and remove this guy and place it somewhere at the other side of the character. So let's come back to the front view. Open up this front view. Okay, let's rather Control J the whole group, right? What I want to do here is I want to reserve this main front view group. I want to reserve it. Then I want to enter into the group of this copy of the front view and start to delete or erase the part of the character that is being covered by the clothing, right? So I want to reserve the original group so that if I'm making the changes here, it's not going to affect the character as a whole, right? If you know what I mean. So let's delete this guy from here and let's go back to the body and delete the part of the body that we don't want to see through the clothes. Okay, come here, delete this part, delete this part, delete these guys. Okay, delete this guy and this guy, this guy and this guy, and we are done with deleting the rest of the character that we don't need. So we can now start to color this character, right? So sometimes if we are doing this thing for digital art, so I can decide to just create a layer, go to my let me remove clear my guides. I can go to my brush panel settings and remove transfer and start to draw this guy straight, like draw smooth lines, trace out smooth lines for this guy, right? Like so. You can just decide to do that, but this guy is going to be used for animation, so I don't need to just draw clean line work for this guy. I can just go ahead immediately and start to color this character. So let's start doing that. You can go to the body. Okay, we can merge this layer together, both the heart and the body to become one layer. You can go to the body layer or to the main layer of the character in front view, pick my magic wand tool, select outside this character. Okay, so I'll show you what I want to do now. I selected outside this character, so everything outside this character is selected, but not within the character. But I want to invert that selection to be able to only select this character and nothing else outside this character. So how do I do that? I will go to my select and inverse. So you can see the shortcut for that is Shift Control I for the shortcut. So instead of this outside being selected, the inside of this character is now being selected. So if I draw anything, it's going to draw only within this character. Okay, so if I do Ctrl-Alt-Z to undo what I did, you can see that I can only draw outside this character because I have not inverted it, right? So I'll go back to my select and inverse. So you see what is happening. So I will now create another new layer and place it below the line work or the sketch. Then go to my paint bucket go to my color picker and pick a skin color that looks African. Skin texture color that looks African. So of course this is an African kid, an African black character. So I'll choose maybe a color that not too dark, not too white. Okay, so maybe around this region, and I'll just simply click on the character to color it. So I've painted a flat color for the character. Now the next thing I'm supposed to start doing is I'll start to color the parts of the character that I don't need. I'll change the color of some parts of the character that don't need to have the same color. So I think there is a little thing that I need to fix here. I need to erase this guy from here. Okay, so we have now painted our character with one flat color. Let us now go ahead and start to add more colors to this character. Okay, so I'm looking at my reference image to see the color of the skin, the color of the clothes that I'm going to give to this character. I will hold Ctrl and click on the layer with the color and go to my brush tool, go to my color picker and try to match up the color of the clothing that I'm looking at as reference right now. I can decide to use red, but I think I'm going to use white according to what I'm seeing in the reference image. Is not too white, maybe a little reddish but almost white. Then I'll go in here and start to put down the color. Okay, so I'm painting just the shirt with that color. Just the shirt. Okay, so I'll continue to paint the shirt, not minding if it bleeds into other parts of the character that's not supposed to have that color. Of course, we can fix that. Like I said, this is just a sketch, so it doesn't matter how you color this character. It doesn't matter whether the color of the character is bleeding out that much. As like, for example, you can see in this area that the colors are bleeding out, but this character is just being colored because it's going to be used for animation. If this was a digital art that I'm supposed to be clean about, I could have drawn a clean line work like I showed you earlier on before I go ahead to apply my colors to the character. So for the trouser, I am going to use something ash or gray, very dark gray color for the trouser. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to do something like this to get the trouser. Okay. Right. So that's about it for this guy here. So for the feet, I'm thinking of leaving the feet bare like so, but I can also come in here and try to find a nice color for the legs. For the feet, I can just use this and to represent the shoe that he's wearing, something like that. Just do it real quick. Okay, I can come to the head now and start to look at how I can start coloring the head part. So for the gum, let me use a very dark reddish color for the gum. Make sure this is a shape dynamics. Okay. Now we do the same thing for the tongue, which is this guy. Let me color pick and paint this guy back. Paint the thing. So I'll also use a white color for the teeth, of course. Okay. Then I'll come to the eyes and paint the cornea white. Paint the cornea white. Then the pupil black, of course. Okay. Then I can add some specular on this area. So I can come to the head and paint it black. Okay. To the hair, rather, paint the hair black. Then I will come to the cap. I will paint this part red, maybe a darker red. Okay, paint this guy red. Okay. Then I'll come to the top of the head and paint the other side white. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's pick this color and paint this. Alright. Then you can just use this black and to represent part of this this guy right here. Okay. Alright. Alright. So we can also paint this part of this guy red. Okay. And also put something like that. We can go back to the sketch and erase some of these guys so it will better fit in. Just that, and we are almost done with the coloring of this character. You can see how easy it is to do that. Then the next thing we are going to do, we can now bring in our texture. This is our texture. We can now bring it in and see how we can shift it into the body of this character. Let's reduce the size of it, okay? And you can place it somewhere here, all right? And clip it. Okay, so when you clip a layer below another layer, it is going to, the layer above is going to appear only below the layer that it is clipped with. So what do I mean by this? You either hold Alt and hover your mouse or your stylus around that layer until you see this icon that looks like an arrow pointing down to the layer below it. Then you click on it to clip it. So see what it does. If I try to move this guy, it's not going to move. It's going to disappear outside this character. It's going to only show within this character, right? So what I'm going to do is, let me see if I can select only the color of the shirt and clip this artwork to the color of the shirt, right? Okay, so I don't think the only way I can do that is to select that color of the shirt and use a Ctrl J, right? So I'll use a Ctrl J or Ctrl X and Ctrl Shift V to paste. Okay, I don't think, okay, it's not working. Okay, let's leave it this way. Sometimes you have to try and see if you can troubleshoot some problems that you encounter while you are creating your design. So let's leave it this way. Probably we are going to use our blend modes. Maybe make it screen, multiply. Let's just look for the one that will fit in well with the character. Okay. We are just moving around our blend modes. I think linear light should be good. We can use linear light and probably reduce the opacity, or let's use another one. I'm just trying to look for the one that will make it shine. Okay, make it shine properly. Okay, maybe use, I think linear light is still okay, or hard light. Let's use hard light. Maybe reduce the opacity to 50%. Okay, then the next challenging thing that we might do here is we have to start morphing it. Like so, to fit in this character. It's not challenging actually, but it might be challenging for some people. So we can start morphing it in to fit this character. Okay. whole thing, then we can click on enter. So we have to go to the eraser tool, make this thing a raster layer, and remove the part or delete the part that we don't want this character to show up in. Okay, don't want it to show up here. Okay, so for the arms, see what we're going to do. We are going to duplicate this this texture, right? We're going to duplicate this texture. We are going to cut some out. Let's cut maybe these guys out. So let's cut this one out too. Okay, Ctrl J, remove it, then delete the other one. Then come to the one that you duplicated, move it to this area, reduce the size, place it properly here. Okay, increase the size a little bit more. Okay, alright, so we can now delete this part that we don't need. So delete the part that we don't need for now. Then we are going to apply the same morphing that we use for the other, or the same warping that we use for the other texture. Below. Okay. So I'm just trying to make it fit a little bit more to the arms. Then I'll come here and also delete the part that I don't need. I can clip it. Okay. Okay, clip it. Alright, so we are almost done with this guy. I'll bring it up a little bit. Oops. What is happening here? Okay. Okay. Using my brush tool. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to duplicate it, Ctrl T, and flip it horizontally and move it to the other side. As simple as that. Okay. Then we are going to do the same thing. Remove the part that we don't need here. Okay, just as simple as that. We can now merge everything back down. Okay. And now merge everything back down. Okay, here's the side. I think we don't need to reduce the opacity for these guys. I think it's just, they are just okay the way they are. Right? Right. Okay. Okay, so hard lines, where are you? Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, this guy. Right. So this is the flat color of our character. Like I said, if we are doing this thing for digital art, we can start to apply shadows and highlights on this character. For example, we can use our hue and saturation and clip it to the layer with the color, then Ctrl I to invert it, then use our brush tool to start coloring or painting in what we call shadows around this character, right? Shadows like so around this character if we want to, but this is not for digital art. This is not digital art, this is just for animation. So I'm going to remove the layer for this rendering that I'm doing right now. So as you can see, that the little rendering that I just did make this character to start popping out a little bit more, just with the little render that I'm doing right now, making the character to pop out just a little bit more. Okay, so but I'm going to remove it again. Let's remove it, so because we don't need it. Alright, so this is our basic character that we are going to be rigging in Toon Boom Harmony when the time comes. We are going to see how this character will start to come alive in our animation project. I already have the audio for the animation project, but before the rigging, we are going to start creating the storyboard for this for the animation from the audio that have been provided to us. So we are going to also see the lesson or watch the lesson for the storyboard creation of this character and other characters that I'm going to create. I'm going to use the same process that I used in creating this character for other characters. So I will not need another video to show you how to create those characters. You can practice on your own on how to create a character turnaround using this simple video that I've just created, simple but detailed video that I've just created for these characters. So see you again in the next class, and this comes to a conclusion for this class, character turnaround concept art in Photoshop. So please don't forget to like, share, comment, and most importantly, please subscribe to my channel to support my work. And if you know other people that will need this kind of tutorial, please direct them to my channel so that they will watch and subscribe as well. Thank you very much for watching, taking your time to watch this tutorial, and I believe that I'll be sharing more, especially storyboarding using Toon Boom storyboard, and also rigging of this character and other characters in Toon Boom Harmony. Have a nice day and see you again. Thank you.